we are taught a simple truth. The divine in its vastness can feel distant. The supreme, the ultimate reality, exists everywhere and in everything. Yet, for most of us, that vastness is hard to grasp, hard to hold on to. That is why our ancestors placed the Guru in the highest place, not as a replacement for the divine, but as a bridge, as the divine made visible, speaking our language, knowing our struggles, meeting us where we stand. When Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara themselves are invoked through the Guru, when the greatest spiritual masters of our land are remembered as Gurus, we understand something profound. Grace flows to us most readily through one who has realized it, through one who walks among us. Yet the Guru is not distant either. The Guru does not ask us to wait for spiritual perfection before offering help. When we place our worries before a true Guru with sincere intention, something remarkable happens. The Guru responds the way a loving parent responds to a child who runs to them in distress, not weighing whether the child deserves comfort, not delaying help until the child has become perfect, but simply reaching down to lift the child up. This is the mercy of the Guru. While the Guru draws the soul toward the divine, toward a calmer and more fulfilling life, the Guru also stands ready to help us with the pressing needs of today. The loan payment due this week, the court hearing set for next month, the exam results we await, the visa decision that could change everything. Both are true. The Guru strengthens our spiritual foundation even as the Guru solves our immediate troubles. Among the great Gurus our land has known, there is one whose name is spoken with love in countless households across southern India: Sri Raghavendra Swamy of Mantralaya, known to his devotees simply as Rayaru. His story is not one of distant perfection, but of a life lived with unwavering faith, even in the deepest poverty, of miraculous compassion that reached into everyday troubles, and of a presence that has answered those who call for over 350 years. Rayaru was born in 1595 in Bhuvanagiri near Chidambaram in Tamil Nadu. His family was a lineage of scholars and musicians. His great grandfather was a master of the veena in the court of King Krishna Devaraya himself. From his father, he learned the veena and he became so accomplished that he was called Veena Venkana Bhatta. But his early life was one of crushing poverty. He taught the sacred texts to children without asking for payment, accepting only what was freely given. His wife was Saraswati Bai, and they had a son. Many days the family went without food. There was no oil for a festival bath, no new clothes for years. Yet he never lost his equanimity. Where poverty forced hardship upon him, his faith transformed it into devotion. He turned each hungry day into a true spiritual fast, filling the empty hours with continuous prayer. At last, his guru recognized his extraordinary greatness and chose him as successor. In 1621, though he had a young wife and a son to raise, a divine vision settled his heart, and he took sannyas, renouncing the world, becoming Sri Raghavendra Tirtha. In that same moment, his wife Saraswati died, and as his very first act of grace as a sannyasi, Rayaru granted release to her spirit. Even in separation, his compassion transcended the boundaries of death itself. From that day forward, Rayaru traveled the length of the land to Udupi, Kolhapur, Bijapur, and far beyond, teaching, debating, writing commentaries of extraordinary power that scholars study even today. He was an ardent devotee of Sri Moolarama and Sri Panchamukha Hanuman, and he sang before Lord Krishna the immortal words: Like a child who has strayed, treat me as your own and save me, O Krishna. These are the words of every common person in this age. Yet, for all his scholarly greatness, Rayaru chose to bear his own karma like an ordinary man, teaching that none stand wholly outside the law of karma. Acceptance of karma with faith is the path that prepares the soul for liberation. Now, what made Rayaru extraordinary was not his learning alone, but his miracles, acts of compassion that answered the troubles of ordinary people. An illiterate cowherd boy named Venkana bowed before him once. Rayaru gave him consecrated rice and said, When you are in real distress, remember me. Years later, when a Nawab thrust a royal scroll at the boy, ordering him to read it or face death, Venkana placed that rice on his head, remembered his guru, and read every word. He rose to become Diwan of Adoni. The Nawab himself, testing Rayaru's powers by bringing him a plate of forbidden meat disguised as alms, saw it transform into fresh fruits and flowers when Rayaru blessed it. The Nawab fell at his feet and later donated the very land where Rayaru's Brindavana, his final resting place, was built. Devotee's young child drowned in a vessel. Rayaru invoked Sri Moolarama and sprinkled sacred water, and the child lived. A prince was killed by a cobra's bite. Rayaru recited the Garuda mantra, and the serpent withdrew its venom. The prince was restored. A 12-year drought gripped Tanjore. The Maharaja came to Rayaru in desperation. Rayaru advised certain yagnas be performed, and when the sacred rites were complete, the rains returned, the land grew green again. When the grateful king offered a gem studded necklace, Rayaru placed it directly into the sacrificial fire as an offering to God. The king was hurt until Rayaru reached his bare hand into the blazing fire and drew the necklace out whole, unburned, teaching gently that what is offered to God is never lost. More than a century later, in 1800, a British collector named Sir Thomas Munro was ordered to seize the Mantralaya Matha's lands. He removed his hat and shoes and entered the sacred precinct, and there it is recorded Rayaru appeared and spoke with him, visible and audible to Munro alone. Munro emerged changed. He wrote his order in favor of the Matha, and this is preserved to this day in the official Madras Gazetteer. When Rayaru's work was complete, he chose Mantralaya, the village of Manchala, for his final rest, revealing that in a past age as Prahlada, he had performed his sacred yagnas on this very ground. There, in 1671, after a soul stirring final discourse, he entered Jiva Samadhi, a conscious, living entombment, declaring that he would remain present for 700 years, blessing all who call upon him. We live within those centuries still. Now, how do we call upon Rayaru today? How do we seek his supporting hand? The path is simple and it begins with the mantra Om Sri Raghavendra Namaha. You take this mantra with sincere faith, not through a formal initiation necessarily, but through a quiet taking up in the heart, which Rayaru receives all the same. Sit before his image, light a lamp, and resolve from this day, this mantra is mine. Then comes the practice itself. On Thursday, Guruvara, the day of the Guru, the very day Rayaru was born, rise early, bathe, and complete your daily prayers. If you can visit a Rayaru Matha or temple in the early morning, go. If not, sit before his image at home with the same devotion. Offer him 108 salutations, full prostrations if your body permits, or simple namaskars, or 108 repetitions of the mantra on a japamala. With each salutation, join your need to the mantra. Om Shri Raghavendra Guruve Mama Dehi Karavalambam. O Guru Raghavendra, give me the support of your hand. Keep the day sattvic, eat light food, avoid anger and harsh words. Hold your need clearly before him, placing it in his care the way a child places a worry before a parent. Do this faithfully, week after week, and watch how little by little things begin to change. As small changes appear, your faith deepens. As your faith deepens, His grace flows more freely still. But there are times when a need will not wait for Thursday. When an outcome is days away and the heart cannot rest, the practice deepens. Each day, read the story of Rayaru, not as a task, but as a remembrance, letting his life, his miracles, his promise settle into you. To read of his grace and praise it daily is itself a way of drawing that grace near. Visit the Matha each day during this period if you can. Each day, renew your sankalpa, your intention. After each reading, Return the book to your puja room with reverence. Offer flowers and akshata before Rayaru's image or upon the book itself. Then, with folded hands, pray, Rayaru, bless this home. Fill it with your presence and with all good things. Hold your supporting hand over me and over those I love. Above all, do not measure the days or grow anxious for results. Anxiety is the opposite of faith. Your part is sincerity and steadiness. The timing and shape of the grace are His to give. Keep reading, keep visiting, keep praying. Let the worry rest in His hands rather than your own. This is the whole secret. Do your part fully and then trust completely. This is what the book Karavalamba teaches us. This is what countless devotees across the world have experienced. The Guru is real. The Guru is near. The Guru holds his supporting hand not just over our spiritual journey, but over our life as it is lived right now. When you reach for that hand with sincerity and faith, Rayaru, the miracle man of Mantralaya, will hold.